Hi guys, Paul here. Today I'm going to be doing a shave with a soap from LA Shaving Soap Company called Topanga Fougere. Since the first of the year I've been kind of working through a number of my soaps and creams that I've had laying around here for a couple of years that just have maybe like a third to a quarter of the product left in the containers, and I'm just trying to use up some of the stuff that I have laying around here. This is one of those products I just have a little bit left. I got this soap a couple years ago and I've used a fair amount of it and I've given away samples of it, and that's about what I have left. And I'm just gonna, over the next week or two, I'm gonna use up what I have, and then I'll move on to the next partially used product that I have. So today I'm going to use a Topanga Fougere. I really like this particular Fougere soap. To me, it's got a nice kind of clean, earthy scent to it. Not as natural as like Martin de Condré or Ginger's Garden, but still kind of a nice heading toward the earthier end of the Fougere spectrum. I've always been really happy with the performance of that soap, so I'm going to use that today. And for my brush, I'm going to be using a brush called, this is a New Forest Tubby 2, and it's in the Tigress resin, which is really cool. I got this brush from David Marshburn. When these came out a few years back, I was always kind of wishing I had gotten this one instead of the one that I actually did get. So when David put this up for sale, I had to have it, and I really like it. It's a two-band brush, and really works good. It's a bulb, which I have grown real fond of bulb-shaped brushes, so I'm going to use that today, and we'll get started. For my razor, I'm going to be using a Shick Korona that I got when I was up in Washington State this last summer for my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. I found this at there's a little antique store in the town that we were staying in western Washington, just a little bit west of Bremerton on the peninsula, or on the east side of Puget Sound. And I think I got this razor for like about $8. I've never had a Shick Korona before, and when I found it I was kind of excited to find a razor that I've never had or used before. So, alright, so there's the soap. Lathers up really nice. And we'll go ahead and start applying it. And then we'll work it in here. And as you can see, this soap really forms a nice lather, lathers real easily. And if any of you guys who aren't familiar with the New Forest brushes, these brushes are made by a fellow in England, or in the UK, who is a brush collector, brush enthusiast, and he wanted to design shaving brushes that were of high quality but still affordable. And he really has some nice brushes. His brushes are really top quality, and the prices on them are really quite reasonable. So if you're looking for a high quality Badger brush, certainly these New Forest brushes are worth giving some consideration to. Going to add a little water to this, kind of loosen it up a little bit. And then we'll get started. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm just going to rinse off this container in my hands real quick. Set the brush aside there. And we'll go ahead and get started. I have a Aster green blade in the razor today. When I first started wet shaving, I was not a huge fan of the Aster green blades. They just didn't seem to work too well for me. They felt a little tuggy, and however, I've kind of gone back to them recently, and I've been getting really good shaves with them, so I'm not sure what was going on there early on, but these seem to be a pretty good quality. Blades, and they're really pretty inexpensive, and they're pretty easy to get a hold of. So I know when I first started wet shaving a couple years ago, these were like one of the most popular blades. People love these things, and I kind of felt odd that I didn't really get as good a shave with them as everyone was saying that they did. But you know, as many of you guys know, that's kind of the nature of this whole wet shaving process, is that there's a lot of things that may work great for you and not for somebody else, and vice versa. So, but I did go back to them, and I've been getting good shaves with them in a number of different razors. So I don't know, it might be worthwhile revisiting some old blades and things like that that you may have laying around that you didn't think worked for you at one time, and maybe something's changed about your technique or whatever, or you've gotten some other razors that those blades might work well in. So it's always worth a try. The Shick Korona is an interesting razor. I've used this a few times. The handle is made out of plastic. It's got the twist knob on the bottom is metal, and of course the head is metal, and the weight seems to be obviously a little more prominent at the head, and it feels a little bit more aggressive to me than like a Gillette Super Speed. Maybe somewhere on the order of a Red Tip or the Aristocrat. As far as smoothness goes, it feels a touch less smooth to me than the Aristocrat and the Red Tip, for me anyways. But it's still a good shaver. Seems to give a real nice shave. And as you can see, that Topanga Fougere soap, really, the lather's really nice. Lathers up really nice, makes a nice thick lather. The lather's very stable. And I think, you know, the scent of this is really, really great. And to me, this is a real underrated, well, maybe not underrated, but sort of an under the radar soap. You don't see it in a lot of people's Shave of the Day posts. But if you're a guy that likes Fougere scented soaps, this is definitely one worth trying. It's a pretty high quality soap, and I've been real happy with it. When I bought this, I also got a sample of their Santa Monica Bay Rum, which I really liked a lot as well. I never went and actually bought that because I have so many other soaps. I just haven't got around to it. But for Bay Rum lovers, that to me is a really nice smelling Bay Rum, and probably at some point in the future I will go ahead and get that. And there's another one of their soaps that I really like that I did get, and that's the Bespoke #1. That is a really nice smoky scented soap, kind of along the lines of Barrister Man Hallows. So if any of you guys out there like Hallows but couldn't get a hold of it when it was available, since it's a seasonal thing and it's always been kind of a limited run, you might want to check out the Bespoke #1. I think that is a regular offering from LA Shaving Soap Company. Yeah, it was a limited run that was made for one of the forums. I can't remember which one now, but I think it actually has become one of their regular offerings now. Sorry, my phone just went off. So, I guess that's 3 passes. I'm just going to do a little touch up on my neck here. This is the third shave on this blade, and although it feels very smooth, it seems, for me, I'll usually get my closest shave on the first or second shave with the blade. By the third or fourth shave on the blade, the shave is just not as close. So, and as I've kind of gone on in my wet shaving journey, I've become less worried about chasing the BBS shave. I'll try and get relatively smooth, but if I don't get completely BBS smooth, I don't really worry about it that much. Okay, I think that'll do it. So I'm just going to rinse my face off here. I think an aftershave that pairs great with this soap is the Barrister & Man Fougere Classic. This is kind of along those lines in scent, so if you're familiar with that, that's kind of along the lines of what this is going to smell like. And the pairing is really nice. Unfortunately, I forgot to grab that, and it's back in the closet, and I don't want to run back and get that right now, so I'm just going to grab another aftershave over here. And I think what I'm going to use today is the Ginger's Garden Fougere Fern. And this one pairs pretty good as well, but this is a little bit more earthy, a little bit darker scent than this. This one is a little bit brighter in fragrance, whereas the Ginger's Garden is a little darker scent. I do really like the Ginger's Garden aftershaves. Some people might not like them because they are a little tacky after you apply them, which some people really do not like. It doesn't bother me. In fact, I think that this aftershave really walks the line between a splash and a balm. So you can just use this alone and not have to apply any balm. It has some moisturizing qualities to it, and all of our aftershaves have a little bit of menthol in them. So. Which is really refreshing, and I really like that aspect of them. It doesn't really intrude upon the fragrance, but that little bit of menthol kick is really nice. It feels really good. So anyways, guys, that's the shave today. I hope you liked it. If you have any comments, questions, whatever, just comment below and I'll answer them as soon as I can. Have a great rest of the weekend. Talk to you later. Bye.